Managers are paid the big bucks for keeping the squad motivated and well drilled before each game. But the area where they earn their wages is making substitutions. Mostly, managers just throw players on and hope for the best, but some genius coaches actually plan substitutions and change their tactics accordingly. These are the top 10 greatest super subs in football history that changed the game. And who better to start things off with than the super sub who single-handedly won his country the World Cup. The World Cup 2014 final was between Argentina and Germany, and the game was very closely contested. It was equal for most of the game, and with every passing minute, it was looking like Argentina would somehow squeeze past Germany and Messi would win his first ever World Cup. But Mario Götze had other plans. Joachim Low sent Götze on in the 88th minute, and with the game heading to extra time. That game, Götze had around 30 minutes to etch his name into history. And that's exactly what he did. He scored the winner with a volley from a tight angle in the 113th minute, and Germany broke Argentinian hearts to take the World Cup home. All thanks to this kid who was on the target list of every club out there after what he had just done. But that was just one goal in a pretty close game. If Götze didn't do it, someone else might have. But what Gini Wijnaldum did to Barcelona in a matter of minutes was much more impressive. In 2019, after losing the first leg 3-0 at the Camp Nou, Liverpool found themselves with a mountain to climb at Anfield. They needed to win 4-0, and if that wasn't enough, Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino were both ruled out due to injury. Wijnaldum started on the bench, and once Robertson got injured during the first half, he was sent on as part of a chance of systems. And boy did the new system work. Early in the second half, Wijnaldum scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to level the scores, setting the stage up for Trent Alexander-Arnold's famous corner taken quickly moment. And Wijnaldum wasn't even Liverpool fans' favorite substitute. That would be Divock Origi. This guy was probably the most underrated striker in the Premier League, and the reason for that was that he rarely got to start. He was Liverpool's second-choice striker behind Roberto Firmino, and with the trio of Firmino, Mane, and Salah firing on all cylinders, Origi had to watch more games than he played, but when he got the chance off the bench, he made it count. Liverpool fans called him Liverpool's savior, and it was true in every sense of the word. He scored crucial goals multiple times during his time at Liverpool, and even though he didn't start every week, he was loved to bits by the fans. Like the time he capitalized on a mistake by Jordan Pickford and won the Merseyside Derby at Anfield in the final minute. He even scored in the UCL final against Tottenham Hotspurs to solidify the 2-0 lead. He was icy cool under pressure, but not as cool as England's Cole Palmer, who has been having the time of his life recently. England had a roller coaster ride in the Euro 2024. They got to the final, but not even English fans could understand how they hadn't been dumped out of the tournament. Considering the squad they had, the way they played football made you want to fall asleep. The only time England looked dangerous and interesting to watch was when Gareth Southgate sent one of the young guys as a substitute. Cole Palmer had a mega season with Chelsea and continued his amazing performances in the Euros, even scoring as a substitute in the final. Speaking of England's run in the Euros and their super subs, Ollie Watkins also made the list. With players like Harry Kane and Ivan Toney in the squad, Ollie Watkins was the last person anyone expected to be England's best striker, but that's what happened. He, linking up with Cole Palmer, scored a late winner in the semi-finals against the Dutch, and pretty much single-handedly booked England's ticker to a second successive Euro final. Talk about being a super sub. Now, imagine the outrage of English fans when they saw that Southgate didn't start Watkins after what he had just produced in the semi-finals. He deserved to start the final, but Southgate decided to sit back the whole game and try to steal it at the death. Only this time, his master plan didn't work. And the reason Southgate's plan didn't work is up next. Spain's Euros was a success and a half. They won the trophy, but more importantly, they found themselves a couple of gems who will carry the national team for decades to come. Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams stole the show, but the reason they won the final against England was Mikel Oyarzabal. England, as they had done all tournament, scored an equalizer rather late in the game, but this time Spain had it covered. Cole Palmer scored as a substitute in the 73rd minute after coming in the 70th minute, but the Spanish had a super sub of their own, sent in on the 68th minute. Mikel Oyarzabal took some time to make his mark. He scored the winner in the 86th minute and England didn't have enough time to try to reply, but Oyarzabal only scored 1 goal. This next player won his team the Champions League final, and he had a much bigger impact than you'd expect from a substitute. The Real Madrid vs Liverpool final in 2018 was probably one of the more dramatic finals ever. Mohamed Salah's shoulder injury sparked huge controversy, and if that wasn't bad enough for Liverpool fans, they also had to sit through their goalkeeper collapsing under the pressure. After gifting Real Madrid the lead early on, Liverpool scored an equalizer in the 55th minute and were kind of back in the game. But Zidane sent Bale in on the 61st minute, and it took him only 3 minutes to score one of the best goals ever in a Champions League final. He scored an outrageous bicycle kick to take the lead back, and almost 20 minutes later, he unleashed a long-range shot that pretty much went through Karius's hands, who was already having a nightmare of a game. Maybe Karius should take a page out of this next guy's book. In the 2014 World Cup quarterfinal, Costa Rica held a strong Netherlands team to a draw. Penalties loomed, and with the score tied 3-3, Dutch manager Louis van Gaal made a surprise switch. Out went first-choice keeper Jasper Cillessen, and in came the relatively unknown Tim Krul. Everyone thought Van Gaal made a mistake, but Krul had it all under control. Despite the question marks, Krul stood tall, making 2 crucial saves to send the Netherlands through. But he's not the most famous Dutch super sub. That would be Wout Weghorst, who almost shattered Leo Messi's dreams of being a World Cup winner by scoring 2 late goals to equalize and take the quarterfinals to penalties. After coming on in the 78th minute, Weghorst scored in the 83rd and an added time to take the game to extra time. And then on to penalties. The Dutch missed the first 2 penalties, and with them, missed out on a chance to go on to the semi-finals. They were so close that even Messi thought they'd do it. And in the post-match press conference, Messi was so pissed off, he produced this legendary meme when Weghorst came over to meet him after the game. But Weghorst's 2 goals weren't as good as what this next legend pulled off. Scoring 4 goals in a game is a pretty difficult thing to do, but scoring 4 in 10 minutes? That's the stuff dreams are made of. Actually, not even a 12-year-old dreaming of playing professional football could dream of scoring 4 goals in 10 minutes. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did it. And that too after coming on as a substitute. Manchester United were facing off against Nottingham Forest, and not even Sir Alex Ferguson would have thought he was going to score 4 when they sent him on. Ole Gunnar came on in the 71st minute and absolutely destroyed the opponents to push United's lead to 8-1. He remains the only player ever to score 4 goals after coming on as a substitute, making him the most legendary super sub in football history. But you know what would be better than watching him score 4 goals? Watching this next video, because let's just say it has more than just 4 goals in it, and all of them are absolute bangers.